Hello and welcome. I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Our top story this morning, now hiring. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is looking for a few good men or women as part of their new safety patrol in schools. Sheriff Tom Knight says that they need to hire 14 deputies to patrol 12 elementary schools as part of the new school resource program. Now, those deputies would reportedly make around $43,000 a year in salary and work 10 months out of the year. And in a related story, the marches may be over, but the movement for more gun control continues. A gathering last night in downtown Sarasota focused on stopping violence in schools and in communities. The speakers included students, teachers, parents, and gun control activists. Each of the speakers agree gun violence has to stop.
There's a revolution going on. There's a whole change in thinking, and I think we have an opportunity really for the first time to get some gun laws through with real teeth.
The kids that had died were kids my age, and that's really scary to see yourself in a situation like that could have been me. And I think afterwards it's become put on students that it's our duty to talk about this.
Now, that meeting was organized by the group Protect Our Public Schools. Students are planning another nationwide walkout on April the 20th to coincide with the 19th anniversary of the Columbine school shooting. Well, after a heart attack victim's body was left on the side of the road for hours, Manatee County is now making some big policy changes. County commissioners met with Sheriff Rick Wells yesterday to discuss what should be done with the remains of a person who has died of natural causes in a public place. Now, this after a situation last month when EMS told a widow to make arrangements with a funeral home on the spot. And when the funeral home wasn't able to come get her husband's body right away, it sat on the road for hours. Going forward, EMS units will now put a body into the ambulance and wait for instruction from the sheriff's deputy on the scene. If the patient's identity is unknown or the funeral home is unable to come quickly, the EMS crew will transport the body to the medical examiner's office. A Sarasota woman is in jail today accused of trying to sell fake drugs. On Saturday night, deputies with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office stopped Ashley Baird while she was driving on the wrong side of the road in Nokomis and after she almost hit one of the deputies on patrol. Now, when they searched her car, they found pills, marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and bags filled with unknown substances. Now, she reportedly told the deputies that those substances were pills made to look like meth, heroin, and fentanyl, and she was planning to sell them. Baird now faces several possession charges. And now to outrage in Sacramento over the shooting death of an unarmed black man, Stephon Clark. Demonstrators, including his brother, disrupted a council meeting last night and blocked fans from getting into an NBA game again. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
Everybody, take out your cell phone.
A simple question fueling a citywide protest and turning this city council meeting into chaos.
Does this look like a gun?
Hundreds filled what was supposed to be an open dialogue meeting, protesting the death of Stephon Clark. The 22-year-old was shot and killed earlier this month after police mistook his cell phone for a gun.
Stephon Clark! Stephon Clark!
In the crowd, Clark's brother shouting Stephon's name as he seizes control of the podium.
I need y'all to hear me, okay?
Outside City Hall, demonstrators marched to the Capitol building and onto the Golden One Center, where for the second time in a week, they blocked fans from entering the Sacramento Kings game.
Show me your hands, gun!
The protests first broke out after police released this body cam footage showing officers shooting Clark 20 times in his grandmother's backyard.
They didn't have to kill him like that. They didn't have to shoot him that many times.
Authorities confirm they plan to release more video from the shooting. And now California's Attorney General will oversee an independent investigation.
My team and I at the California Department of Justice will do everything in our power to ensure that this investigation is fair, thorough, and impartial.
The NAACP says the wake for Stephon Clark will be this afternoon in Sacramento. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
To stay up to date on this story, plus get the latest breaking news and your spring break first alert forecast, download our app. You can find it under WWSB or My Suncoast. Right now, a county on the Suncoast is under a burn ban as more brush fires continue to pop up. Charlotte County issued an emergency burn ban to try and prevent fires from spreading. And there's currently one open brush fire in South Sarasota County. The dry conditions as of late have put parts of Sarasota and Manatee counties at moderate or high risk. Over the past weekend, the Myakka River District responded to 5 wildfires in 5 county area for a total of 180 acres. Forest Service officials expect the rest of this season to be just as busy as last year.
But if you walk into any wooded area, you'll still see a lot of downed trees and debris that's on the ground that's not been picked up because it's in the woods. And so that just makes it a little bit more difficult for us to get in there, but it also provides more fuel on the ground for the fire to take hold of and burn.
Another problem, no sign of significant rainfall until the end of May or early June. And speaking of rainfall, that is one of the biggest problems that they're having right now with these wildfires, and not too much in the forecast.
Well, yeah, right, there isn't, and we'll end up the month, about 3 inches below our normal for the year-to-date total. But aside from that, the winds have been so strong over the last couple of days that does not help firefighters at all, and of course is a big risk. And the humidity has been low, which is also another big issue. Humidity will be increasing, that'll be a good thing, but still abnormally dry across the region. Sarasota Bay webcam shows those deep blue skies that we have across the region. A few fair weather clouds from time to time, but on balance, the air aloft is as dry as the air at the surface, and so rainfall certainly not in the forecast for today. Drought indexes across the state, well, there are a few locations where we're already in a moderate drought, and so our fire season hasn't really even started to kick in yet, but South Florida is in worse shape than we are, but we still have some abnormally dry areas, especially in Manatee County and points to the south as well. So let's hope we do get some rainfall soon. One thing we will see is an increase in moisture, humidity over the course of the next couple of days. You can almost see the spinning gyre of high pressure producing cloud cover that's gradually inching closer to the southern tip of our state. That's a developing not only aloft but at the surface southerly wind flow that'll help bring up moisture. Radar was quiet and temperatures are generally homing in on that 80-degree mark across the region. I think as we head into the afternoon, most everybody will see 80 degrees or better. We'll go with about 81 degrees by 3 p.m. And then as we head into the evening tonight, it won't be as cool. This morning was probably the coldest morning we'll see this week. I think we'll probably be in the lower 60s when you wake up tomorrow morning. We'll have the complete forecast in just a few. Steph?
All right, thanks, John. Looking good for spring break week. Well, the jackpot just keeps on growing. There was no winner in last night's Mega Millions jackpot. So now Friday night's big prize will be worth over $500 million. That's going to be the 4th largest in the history of Mega Millions. Now, if there is just one winner and that person chooses to take that one-time lump sum payment, they're going to get almost $300 million. We're just going to let that one sink in for a minute there. Still to come on your Suncoast News, we're going to tell you why a new study suggests that your child's favorite bath toy could be dangerous to their health. And caught on camera how a Utah State Trooper is doing today after getting thrown into the air, hit by a runaway car. We're going to have his story when we come back.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership, both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Still kind of a delightful day with our relatively low humidities out there. I mean, we have a dew point value still in the 50s, which feels pretty good. With an air temperature of 77, full sunshine, and that low relative humidity, it's a great day. Now, one thing I know a lot of people are wondering is when these winds are going to die down a little bit. They're still south-southeast at about 16, and there's a cautionary statement for boaters again today. I think, like I said this morning, the second half of the afternoon, we're going to start seeing those wind speeds come down, and come down significantly, I think. Tomorrow will be a much better day for boating. 75 degrees at Lakewood Ranch, Parrish at 75, Bradenton 75, 75 Myakka, 74 in Venice, 77 in Sarasota, 71 Longboat Key, 73 Inglewood, 76 in Northport, Punta Gorda coming in at 79 degrees, almost at 80, and 75 degrees in Arcadia. As we head into the afternoon today, I think by around 3 p.m., even by 3 p.m., I think you will notice the wind speed starting to trend down a little bit. 81 the air temperature at that time. Certainly by the time we get to 7 p.m., the wind speeds will have decreased and have shifted a little bit more to the southeast as well. That southeast wind is going to help bring moisture back our way. It'll be a slow return of moisture, but it'll be coming, and it will help to keep our nighttime lows just a little bit warmer as well as the southerly direction will. So we'll look for tonight not to be as cold as it was this morning. In some places it was just darn right chilly, I think, for some folks out there who like it a little bit warmer. 61 degrees by 7 a.m. we'll call it tomorrow morning. So a general southerly flow all across the area, southwesterly flow will turn, southeasterly flow will turn to a more southerly flow as we head into the evening. Maybe a few fair weather clouds around, but nothing that's going to produce any rainfall. Temperatures falling into the 60s by the time we hit midnight. And then as we wake up tomorrow morning, I think we'll be in the lower 60s in most locations. Still with that southerly wind flow right through the day tomorrow, I think, but wind speeds less. And then as we head into the afternoon on Thursday, I think we'll see temperatures once again be very close to the 80-degree mark. So not much in the way of a radar seen to show you this morning or this afternoon. I don't think we're going to see much. That is not the case in other places. These areas colored in green here are areas across the country that have a warning or an advisory or a watch that are all related to flooding because of some very heavy rainfall that is ongoing along that area, and in fact has been pretty consistent over the last almost 48 hours in some locations. Those areas of low pressure will very slowly lift to the north and very slowly drag a frontal boundary closer to us by Friday. That will enhance our rain chances Friday, but still not all that much. Winds slacken and twist south. We're going to see that this afternoon. We're still dry through Friday and warm with increasing humidity. You'll certainly notice that, I think, by tomorrow afternoon. South wind at about 5 to 10, and the extended range forecast looks like this. Today, 82, tomorrow, 81, and Friday we'll factor in that chance of a shower or so, about a 20% chance of that. Then as we head into Sunday, that shower chance continues as the front kind of washes away basically over us. Easter Sunday looks great, sunny, warm, and next week looks warm as well. Back to you.
In Health Smart, the HPV vaccine is given to kids and preteens to prevent cancers later on in life. But one group isn't getting the vaccine as much. Why not? ABC's Serena Marshall has more.
The human papillomavirus, HPV, it can cause a number of cancers, including cervical, mouth, and throat. The good news, there's an effective vaccine to protect against it. The bad news, boys aren't being given the shots as much as girls. For a number of years, the CDC has recommended that all children starting between ages 11 and 12 should receive the vaccine, a series of 2 or 3 shots. Yet, while 65% of girls had started the vaccine course in 2016, only 56% of boys had. Now researchers may have discovered the reason why. Looking at the results of a national survey given to parents of kids between 13 and 17 years old, they found that parents of boys were more likely to say their healthcare provider hadn't offered them the vaccine. Almost 1 in 5 boys had not had the vaccine recommended by their healthcare provider, compared to 1 in 10 girls. That wasn't the biggest reason overall that children of either gender didn't get vaccinated. More than 20% of parents said they didn't think it was necessary. In countries with higher vaccination rates than the U.S., such as Australia, the HPV vaccine has been linked to a dramatic decline in the rates of HPV cancers. Perhaps understanding why more American children aren't getting the vaccine will help doctors protect them from the consequences of HPV infection. With this Medical Minute, I'm Serena Marshall, ABC News.
So did you know that your child's rubber ducky is probably really yucky? A new study claims the popular bath toy is full of bacteria and fungus. Researchers borrowed well-loved duckies from households, placed them in either clean water or dirty water, but either way, a clear majority, 80%, had potentially harmful bacteria cells on them. Now researchers aren't exactly sure if the bacteria and fungi is harmful to kids. Now in some cases they say exposing kids to microbes like this can result in a stronger immune system. And good news for Aetna customers, prescriptions that are covered by the health insurance company could result in big discounts at the drugstore. Aetna says starting the beginning of next year, it's going to be passing along rebates that it receives from drug manufacturers to customers. Now that discount will affect about 3 million customers who are currently enrolled in specific job-based insurance coverage. United Healthcare made a similar announcement a while back. Theirs will affect about 7 million customers. Now those actions come after President Trump's pledge to lower the cost of prescription drugs. Well, the Red Cross works to help millions of people across the country after a disaster or an emergency, but now they need your help. ABC's Marla Spence has more on how you can get involved in today's Red Cross Day of Giving.
Disasters like a fire, flood, or even a hurricane like Irma can happen to anyone. Oftentimes when this happens, families are left with nowhere to go and nowhere to turn to. This is when the American Red Cross steps right on in. To help families get back on their feet, the American Red Cross locally and nationally are asking for donations today.
The Red Cross responds to disasters every 8 minutes, and we're constantly there trying to help families, getting them back on their feet straight away. Just a simple donation of $30 would allow us to buy 6 blankets. $60 provides meals for 6 people. So it's just this sort of help that we need to keep our work going.
The Red Cross hands out between $600 to $1,000 per family, and that money goes to putting families in hotels, offering clothing, and providing food. For more on how you can donate to this year's Red Cross Giving Day, you can go to our website, mysuncoast.com. Reporting in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And Jersey Mike's is taking giving to a whole new level today. Now, if you stop in and grab a sub at the chain today, you're also going to be helping local charities. The company is donating all of their sales today to charity, every penny from all of its more than 1,300 stores nationwide. Time now to head over to the kitchen and check in on what smells really good with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. What's cooking today?
Well, I figured with the Passover Easter holiday coming, we're going to do braised lamb shanks. It's a lot more affordable than doing the whole leg of lamb or even doing lamb chops, obviously. So this is the type of thing that you can make Saturday night if you want. Passover starts Friday night. If you want to make it on Thursday, that's going to work great. And the only difference is if in Easter you want to use orzo on the base, that's fine. But today we're also going to use sweet potato noodles. The key is in your seasoning. Look at these beautiful big lamb shanks. Then I've already set out my seasoning. So I have plenty of sweet paprika, Vicks garlic seasoning, which I get over at the Spice and Tea Exchange, and Moroccan seasoning. We're going to also add some cinnamon sticks and some ground allspice. Bring that together with some fresh herbs and it's going to sit and simmer in red wine and some beef broth and tomatoes, and we'll bring it all together with extra seasonings. So stay with me throughout the hour. We will sear up the lamb starting soon and get a good base flavor going.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Why do that?
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
ABC7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
Today, after being hit by a runaway car while responding to sliding vehicles on an icy highway. Now watch this. Sergeant Cade Brenchley was walking toward this stranded white car that you see right there. Then a sliding black car, oh my goodness, launches into him from behind and then into the air. He ended up breaking his shoulder and a couple ribs, but says he feels pretty lucky to still be alive after that incident.
I woke up and I saw snow and I was laying there and knocked the wind out of me. I was gasping for breath. It was right up against a car, and I remember thinking to myself, I've been hit.
Now, several people did rush over to help him after he was hit. That also makes him the 11th state trooper hit on Utah roads this year. And this next one takes carpooling to a whole new level. A woman in the Florida Panhandle forgot one important thing when she left. She forgot to put her car into park. When she ran back into the house to grab some cash that she'd forgotten, the car rolled into an apartment complex pool with her husband and daughter, both still inside. Now, both were able to get out of the car with no injuries. All right, time now to head back over to the kitchen and check in again with ABC7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher and some lamb shanks that are simmering in red wine. Sounds good, Judy.
The way you said it, you sold the dish, Stephanie. You sold the dish. So what we're going to do is you're going to pat the lamb shanks dry with a paper towel. Give them about 10 minutes sitting out after you do that. Then I'm going to take my spice blend. I already did one side. So get it pretty covered with the seasoning. You want to get this strong, okay? So now it's going to go in your Dutch oven with 2 tablespoons of a high-quality olive oil. And I'll just kind of toss that around there one more time to really get that. There we go. Now this is going to sear for about 8 minutes. You want to make sure you get it brown on both sides. Easy recipe to double as long as you have a large enough pot, or you can split it into 2 pots, but we're gonna let those simmer. In the meantime, for when we come back, I have fingerling potatoes. Picked them up over at Whole Foods, and you can get a bag that has multicolors. So the purple and the different colors really add some nice color to the dish, because this is something you want to serve on a platter and let your guests enjoy. It just is so rich and depthful in flavor. Now, just for time, I'm going to turn these over a little sooner. But you can start to see that it's starting to get that golden color, right? So those seasonings are really starting to blend in. We're going to keep this going for about 10 more minutes. Take them out, and then I'll bring in the vegetables as well. Now, the orzo I already cooked. Obviously, if it's Passover, you're going to skip the orzo because you're avoiding anything that's flour-based. But if you're not, let's do this. Always nice, you can serve the lamb shanks on a bed of lentils, which is great with a little orange zest. So we have that. We do have potatoes in, but it's not going to be that strong. So don't worry about it. It's not going to be too many potatoes. So you can have a few different bases of a carb if you want. Okay, so just to save time, I'm going to put the lamb shanks down on the plate, and I'm going to add the vegetables. So when you come back, then we can deglaze with red wine. That's Stephanie's part, she loves, and a few other ingredients going to be really good. So stay with me. We're coming back to cook what I think is going to be one of Stephanie's favorite dishes.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota for big savings during the spring sales event. Take a test drive and see why Jeep Grand Cherokee is the most awarded SUV of all time. Or for impressive off-road performance with a little bit of Suncoast style, shop the area's largest selection of new 2018 Jeep Wranglers. Stop by today and drive away in a new Jeep Cherokee for just $19,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny B. Good, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Coming up on your Suncoast News, the leader of North Korea makes a surprise visit to China. What that move means here in our country. Plus, why felons will soon be able to vote again in Florida. And it is National Manatee Appreciation Day, where you can go today to appreciate them a little bit more locally. Those stories and your spring break forecast, it is all straight ahead in your Suncoast News.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Webb. Today, our top story at 12:30, that mysterious meeting overseas. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un making a surprise visit to China in extreme secrecy. His first trip out of the country since he took power. ABC's Juliana McFarland has more from London.
A mysterious train pulling into Beijing's central train station. Dark, tinted windows with a bulletproof exterior. After 2 days of denial, speculation and secret talks, it's been confirmed. It's Kim Jong-un's first foreign trip since he came to power after the death of his father in 2011. Our first meeting came at an important time, they said on North Korean state TV. It marks a wonderful occasion that provides a great opportunity to maintain and develop the friendship between North Korea and China. The leader of the Hermit Kingdom was wined and dined, receiving a red carpet welcome from China's Xi Jinping. North Korea's relations with China have been tense, with Beijing's unease at Kim's repeated ballistic missile testing and nuclear aggression. But now, with the prospect of new diplomatic talks with the US and the South, China, North Korea's closest ally, wants to make sure they aren't sidelined. President Trump this morning tweeted that Xi Jinping updated him on his meeting with Kim, where the North Korean leader allegedly said he was looking forward to meeting with Trump soon. The last thing Beijing wants is a war on its doorstep, with thousands of North Korean refugees flooding into China and all the destabilizing chaos that would ensue. The clear expectation from China is that Donald Trump's upcoming talks with North Korea will dampen the nuclear war rhetoric. Julia McFarlane, ABC News, London.
And new at noon, the NRA is denying that it used foreign donations to fund its work in the 2016 presidential election, but it does admit accepting money from overseas donors. Now, more questions are swirling about whether the group used donations from outside the country to boost the Trump campaign. A lot of the scrutiny is focusing on Alexander Torshin. He's a prominent Russian banker with ties to Vladimir Putin. Now, Torshin has spent years cultivating a relationship with the NRA, which spent about $30 million to back Trump's presidential campaign. And the attorney for porn star Stormy Daniels wants to depose President Trump. Daniels says that she had an affair with Trump back in 2006. Trump says never happened. Trump's attorney, Michael Cohen, says he paid her $130,000 back in October of 2016, but that Trump knew nothing about it. Now, Daniels' attorney, Michael Avenatti, is seeking a 2-hour deposition with Trump and a 2-hour deposition with Cohen. The hearing date is now set for April 30th. A missing Fort Bragg soldier who disappeared over the weekend is now considered AWOL. Sergeant Carl Seaman was at Fort Bragg for training with his unit and was scheduled to be deployed Monday to Louisiana. But his car was found Monday night in the parking lot of a Fayetteville store. Police are now involved and investigating.
No, at this point, there's nothing that looks like foul play was involved. The investigators are looking at all angles of it, as they always do, and they are working hard to reunite him with his family and determine what exactly took place.
Now, authorities there said they are tracking calls made from his cell phone, and they also plan to look at security camera video from the area where his car was found. Happening across Florida, closing arguments are expected later today for the woman accused of helping her husband plan a mass shooting at a nightclub in Orlando. Lawyers for Nor Salman have rested their case in her federal trial. Prosecutors told the jury that Salman knew her husband, Omar Mateen, was buying rounds of ammunition before the attack and that she knew about his plan before he left home that day. Prosecutors also claim that Salman lied to try and mislead FBI agents and had knowledge of her husband's fascination with violent videos and terrorism. Defense attorneys described the 31-year-old mother as a simple woman with a low IQ who was abused by her husband. And a federal judge has ordered Florida Governor Rick Scott to create a new system to restore voting rights back to convicted felons. Now, Florida is one of only 4 states right now that permanently bars felons from voting. Governor Scott defended the current system and says it is outlined in our state's constitution. The judge gave the governor until April the 26th to come up with a new voting restoration process. In Jacksonville, scientists are trying to figure out what to do about a recent set of stranded manatees found on area beaches. Now, several manatees were found stranded earlier this week, but they are now safe thanks to Florida Fish and Wildlife. Now, during low tide, the manatees got stuck in mud flats, showing signs of cold stress syndrome. They're now recuperating at the Jacksonville Zoo. And happening today here on the Suncoast, it is Manatee Appreciation Day. And to celebrate these animals, the South Florida Museum in Bradenton is welcoming 2 new patients to its Manatee Rehabilitation Aquarium. Meet O'Neill and Tenenbaum. The aquarium is home to manatees while they recuperate after an injury. The main goal, to help get these guys back up to a healthy weight and size before they are released. All right, I like to say maybe a good thing to do during the spring break week is get out and about and go see the manatees, as well as enjoying some beach time, right?
Don't touch them, though.
Right, do not touch the manatees.
Illegal.
Yes, it is.
Have you ever been to the Crystal River area?
I have. That is one of the first things that we did when my daughter and I moved down here. That is
amazing?
Magnificent.
Oh,
yes.
it's a never forget kind of adventure, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. They're beautiful animals. We are seeing some very beautiful temperatures outside, some very beautiful weather, a lot of deep blue sky out there. Crystal clear sky with a few fair weather clouds that come by from time to time. They're kind of riding up from the south, but there's not many of them, and they're certainly not going to be rain producers. The amount of moisture in the air is still pretty limited. This is the fire danger index for today. The red is very high, and you can see on the map here there are a few counties that are listed in the very high category, one of them being Manatee County and one of them being Charlotte County, where a fire ban is in process, as you heard earlier in this broadcast. Spinning area of high pressure producing a lot of cloud cover away from the state of Florida, and a frontal boundary back to the west producing that solid line of clouds that you see extending from Texas on up through the Ohio Valley. A lot of flooding rains ongoing there. But no rain for us. Titan radar, quiet as a church mouse over the state of Florida. Got some temperatures that are closing in on the 80-degree mark, and I think as we head into the afternoon, next couple of hours, we'll see it crack that 80 mark. We'll go with about 81 by 3 p.m. And then tonight, I think a little warmer because of the wind shift and because of a little more moisture in the air. Have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, thanks, John. Northport police are still looking for a man who reportedly stole more than $700 of merchandise from a Walmart store without paying for it. Now, so take a look at these surveillance photos. They say this man, featured right here, tried to leave a Walmart with more than $700 of merchandise. Now, when he was confronted, he left the cart and ran from the store. If you recognize him, call the Northport police. And today it is your chance to meet the next potential fire chief of Northport. A meet and greet is set for tonight from 5 to 7 in the commission chambers. The current chief is retiring. Now, just a few weeks ago, Northport actually had a similar meet and greet for the police chief candidates, but the city wound up saying no to all the finalists and started a fresh search. And a good shopping note for you. A new Louis Vuitton store opens today inside the mall at UTC. The luxury fashion retailer joins other handbag stores at the mall like Kate Spade, Coach, and Michael Kors. The mall at UTC has welcomed more than 30 new stores now since its grand opening back in 2014. I don't know, Louis bags or Chef Judy's lamb shanks? I think I'm going to go with the lamb shanks. Let's head back over to the kitchen and
I'm
see
honored.
lunch.
I'm
Yes.
so going with the handbags. That's my fix. So we have the vegetables, potatoes, onions, carrots, and celery. Of course, I'm using organic. It's going to really bring out that better flavor. Now we're going to deglaze with about 3 cups of red wine. You don't use an expensive red wine, but use a wine that you would drink out of a glass, preferably a little bit dry on the red, okay? So we're gonna let this kind of simmer and come back up to a boil, and we're gonna scrape that bottom because that's where all that goodness that you've browned the lamb is from. We're gonna take 1 20-ounce can of whole tomatoes, and what I do is I just break a few of them up just a little bit. Just a little bit there. Then we're going to take, and you can tie this in a string to make it easier to take the herbs out, fresh thyme and rosemary. You can even use some fresh oregano if you have it in your flower boxes like I do. I stick my herbs, and they have their own box, and then I intertwine them with some flowers, which is really good. So you have plenty of herbs. Inside here we have more celery salt and Moroccan seasoning, so that's going to go in. And then we're going to crank the heat just a little bit, because what we have to do is when we add the brown broth, the beef flavored broth, there we go, about 2 cups of that. Then we're going to go back and we're going to add the lamb shanks. Now what you need to do is you want to make sure the lamb shanks are completely covered with the liquid. So you may have to move the vegetables around just a little bit. And again, a reminder, these particular shanks could be browner, but for TV time, I wanted you to be able to see this recipe. Now you're going to bring it to a boil. Let it stay on the stove for 10 minutes boiling, and that's going to bring that temperature right up. And then you're going to put it in oven at 350 degrees for 2 to 2.5 hours. And when it comes out, it is just luscious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the lamb shanks, and then I'm going to add the sweet potato noodles that will be part of the base. So come back, there's a tasting coming, and I think it's going to be both John and Stephanie, and she owes me a new Louis bag.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt would leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long gone.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you, too.
Car experts and customers agree there's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. Now, lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester for just $219 a month. Or get 0% financing with 0 down during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
77-degree air temperature, plenty of sunshine out there, low relative humidity. It is such a beautiful day. South-southeast wind coming in at about 16, still breezy, but as that turns more and more to the southeast and eventually to the south, we're going to watch those wind speeds kind of die down a little bit in the second half of the afternoon. Look for about 81 degrees by the time we hit 3 p.m. Plenty of sunshine, no rain in the forecast. By the time we hit 7, you'll definitely notice a decrease in wind speeds. Temperature then about 75 degrees. As we head into the overnight, we go into the 60s, and when you wake up tomorrow morning, probably be in the low 60s across the region. Titan radar, quiet across the entire area. We don't see anything going on in terms of rainfall. Temperatures across the nation are kind of cool in some locations. I mean, we have temperatures that won't be above freezing in the northern parts of North Dakota. The cold air kind of spilling southward as far south as Albuquerque, and then you get into parts of the southern plains and you start to see temperatures that begin to climb into the 60s. Of course, there's no place as warm as we are in the northern Gulf Coast and state of Florida, into the 70s and near 80 mark already. Northeast kind of cool. There's a line of showers right along the division between the cold air back to the north and the warm air in the deep south. Along that line of slow-moving showers, there has been tremendous amounts of rainfall, and of course all the areas highlighted in green are where there are flood watches, warnings, advisories that are up for the area rivers filling their banks, for flash flooding in urban environments, and for the possibility over the course of the next 24 hours or so of even more rainfall as this whole system kind of moves up toward the Ohio Valley. The ongoing shower and thunderstorm activity includes the threat of some severe weather in parts of Texas and the Louisiana Delta region as these areas of low pressure lift north. The front producing that will gradually get closer to the state of Florida, but in a much weakened fashion. So by the time it arrives here, it won't have any of the oomph that it has back to the west, and we get just a slight chance of some showers. Winds turn to the south. We get a little bit more humidity working its way into the forecast, but we stay dry until Friday. This computer model shows the progression of this frontal boundary till about Friday when it moves into the northern part of the state of Florida. I think it's going to stall out over South Florida or Central Florida, and when it does that, we'll get unsettled weather for a day or two, but by Sunday everything kind of clears out and we're left with a pretty nice day on Sunday, it looks like. So the forecast shaping up like this: south wind coming in at about 5 to 10, decreasing to just 5 during the overnight period. 82 today, 81 tomorrow. Friday still warm, but that chance of showers works its way in with that approaching front. Lingers through Saturday till the front washes away. Then Sunday looks good, sunny, daytime high 81, and the warm weather carries on into next work week. Back to you, Steph.
All right, thanks, John. In consumer news this morning, in today's day and age, it's pretty normal to respond to your work emails after dinner, maybe check them while you're getting ready for work in the morning. But should you have the right to disconnect from home when you leave office? And this is interesting. The New York City Council is debating a bill that would make sure you don't have to respond to work emails or calls after you clock out. Now, the bill doesn't forbid your employers from contacting workers after hours, but it does say that an employee should have the right to not answer calls or emails without fear of retaliation. Now, if an employer were to violate that rule, the business would then have to pay a city the fine of $250. Next, goodbye, Facebook. That's the message from several big companies after a big data breach involving 50 million Facebook users. So far, Playboy, SpaceX, and Tesla have all closed their company Facebook pages. Hugh Hefner's son, Cooper Hefner, says he has issues with the way Facebook handles the user data and calls Facebook policies, quote, sexually repressive. Facebook stocks has dropped more than 13% just this week, and now 3 lawsuits have been filed by Facebook Messenger users over privacy violations. Attention Walmart shoppers, no more Cosmo magazines in the checkout lines. The retail giant says it will still sell the magazine, but it will no longer be available in the checkout line. Now, the National Center on Sexual Exploitation says the decision came after the 2 organizations had some talks about Cosmo's content, which is known for giving sex tips and other advice to women, headlines that they don't think customers should have to see when they're waiting in the checkout lane. The National Center issued a statement praising Walmart for its new policy change. And it's no secret that your kids should have access to the latest in technology. So Apple has responded with a new lower-cost iPad designed with classrooms in mind. The new iPad was unveiled in a special event on Tuesday at Chicago's Lane Tech College Prep High School. Now, it's going to cost about $299 for schools and then $329 for consumers. Now, other iPads, of course, can cost hundreds of dollars more. Pre-orders for the new model begin next Tuesday. Still to come on your Suncoast News, it is the strangest hashtag you're going to hear all week, I promise. How it involves Beyonce and a mystery that has taken over the social media world. Trust me, you do not want to miss this one. It is next.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Webb.
And I'm Ray Collins. Everyone loves spring break, but sometimes it can cause tension.
All right, so we're going to have two nationally known relationship experts here in studio to talk about some of those things that pop up among couples and families tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
An approaching cold front may bring us some weekend rains. We're monitoring it, and we'll give you the updates bright and early.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
We are back, and this smells just fantastic.
You really like lamb, don't you?
I do like lamb. I know you're not terribly crazy about it, but I do.
I'm not terribly crazy about it, but my family is, including even my grandnephews, and now that I know Stephanie is, I like to make the lamb appearance every 4 months because so many people enjoy it. But braised lamb shanks are, I have never seen a city that has embraced braised lamb shanks as much as I have here in Sarasota. I think it's that we're all from the north and different places, and we grew up with braised things. So nice for Easter and nice for Passover using the vegetable noodles instead.
Delicious. Recipe on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining button. It takes you directly there with Judy's video instructions as well. Thanks, Judy.
Thank you. Stephanie?
All right, thanks, guys. In entertainment news, Steven Spielberg's much-anticipated Ready Player One finally hits theaters this weekend. It could open in first place at the box office as well. ABC's Jason Nathanson has more in today's Showbiz Wrap.
The new Steven Spielberg movie, Ready Player One, hits theaters tonight, getting a jump on the Easter holiday weekend. And for some of the actors, it was already intimidating enough to be directed by Spielberg. And star Olivia Cook says then Spielberg's friends, like Tom Cruise, stop by the set.
It wasn't so much like a fangirl, like, oh my God, I was just like, oh, it's just, I'm not in the right mindset to meet a famous person right now. Don't do this to me. I just, it was just embarrassing. It was just really, I just made a fool of myself. Just bowed like a servant. Just very embarrassing.
Ready Player One is expected to easily top the box office this weekend. Scrubs star Zach Braff returns to TV tonight in the sitcom Alex Inc. It's based on the popular Startup podcast, which follows Alex Blumberg as he starts a podcast company. Braff tells us the show is not a word-for-word recreation of the podcast, but
I think particularly there's so many fans of Startup, the podcast, you definitely want to make sure that they feel like you're honoring something that they love, myself included. I was a genuine fan of what he created.
Alex Inc. premieres tonight on ABC. You can now add chart-topping gospel artist to Snoop Dogg's resume. His first ever gospel album, Bible of Love, has debuted at #1 on Billboard's Top Gospel Albums chart. The rapper credits his late grandmother, Dorothy Tate, for introducing him to gospel music and inspiring him to release a gospel album of his own. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Next, the star of Lifetime's reality show Dance Moms is free. Well, kind of. Abby Lee Miller has been released from a federal prison into a halfway house. Now, Miller had been incarcerated at a prison in California since July of last year. After pleading guilty to bankruptcy fraud, prosecutors accused her of hiding almost $800,000 of income from the IRS. People magazine is reporting that Miller is going to serve the last few months of her year sentence at a residential house in Long Beach. All right, here it is. What's trending today? The strangest mystery of the week. Who bit Beyonce? It's a real thing, folks. In an interview with GQ this month, comedian and actress Tiffany Haddish told a story about an actress that playfully bit Beyonce on the cheek at a party. And Twitter has now exploded with a few suspects. Everybody wants to know who bit the queen. Several actresses have had to go online to deny the bite heard around the world, and the hashtag Who Bit Beyonce is still trending on Twitter today. And finally, a very different kind of bite. A family in South Louisiana is getting some props for creativity when it comes to their very unique gender reveal involving this live alligator. The couple's family filled a watermelon with blue food coloring to represent having a little boy. Then they gave it to the gator, who exploded it. The family owns a nearby alligator farm. The dad-to-be is actually a gator wrangler and known as the Gator King. The family says they couldn't think of a better way to commemorate this family moment. There's so many weird stories just in that block that I can't stop.
They're loading you up today, Stephanie.
Who bit Beyonce? And the alligator.
The alligator bitter.
See you back here.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Why do that?
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.